Hi, I'm Sherry Sweetland. I work with PTC Recruiting. We're an accounting and finance recruitment firm. I've been with the business for about 11 and a half years. I am an ex-accountant. I like to say I'm an accounting dropout. My career took a turn 11 years ago, and I've never looked back. We primarily focus on accounting and finance, both perm and contract in the GTA. We're currently going through an expansion that will take us into the rest of Canada and the United States. So again, back from the recruitment side, because I am in the recruiting agency space, and Hugh did cover a lot of great things. I love the onboarding. That is a huge tool after you've done all the work to find the person, and you did nail it. There is a tremendous amount of cost and time and effort, as you all know, to find that person. My presentation focuses on what and you may have heard before, what is the token purple squirrel. It's a term that we use in the world of recruitment that identifies somebody with a perfect set of skills, soft, technical, and otherwise. And it's, by definition, an untrue find, but everybody has a different version of what a purple squirrel may be. So in the market right now that we see in the accounting and finance world, whereas my space, the war for talent is still very much relevant. We have the inflation rate, low unemployment rates in Ontario, perm opportunities are peaking. They have been for the last 12 to 14 months. So just a little bit of information here from the Globe and Mail, even though it's pretty dated, it pretty much signifies that that's the trend we're still seeing. A lot of people are looking at opportunities. Most of the calls that I've received in the last 3 weeks have been turnover. I have somebody leave, they're given their notice, they're walking out the door, I have to get somebody in because year end is December 31st, we're closing our books, I have a gap. So they tend to panic a little bit. So the facts are, right now, the changes in recruitment really have been around technology and social media, LinkedIn, Indeed. There's so many portals, Instagram, Facebook even. We're seeing Kijiji ads. Anywhere that the word can get out, we're finding that companies and recruiters are leveraging them. Hidden networks could be anything as a subgroup of CPA. It could be Financial Executives International. There's a Canadian cohort in Canada. We also find that the saturation of our space is definitely overlapping. We do see our clients maybe want to grow to 2 to 3 or more agencies. There are a lot of us out there, and that can sometimes sometimes impede the process a little bit, which we'll get into later. And then the salary and opportunity competition. So that is another area that we do see a tremendous amount of, I guess, movement in, because when you as an employee tell your boss, say, Hugh, I'm going to resign today, and Hugh says, no, 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 we want to keep you, then the salary competition becomes maybe a counteroffer. You counteroffer that person, you want to keep them. So we do tend to see a lot of that in the market right now. I'm seeing it a lot in the last 3 weeks. So where do you begin? Well, the hunt for this purple squirrel begins with how you might find your people. Job boards, like I mentioned before, are very popular. Some of them are inexpensive, some not so much, but it is an investment to pull in and get the word out there. Building your brand, what I like to say is, you've built a very strong brand at Clean River. It sounds very strong. You probably engage people you draw people to you. What we like to do as accounting and finance professionals is find out how your brand supports me through quarter end, month end, audit work, every kind of system implementation change and whatnot. We want to know how you support us. And then skills hunting. This is your talent acquisition teams. This is, again, the job boards. Whatever talent you're looking for, chances are they're not going to come to you. You got to go get them. They're sitting waiting for somebody to approach you, waiting for you to approach them because they want to know that you want them. And why do you want them? They may reach out to you, might get that purple squirrel that calls you, then you're very lucky, and we really like those situations that pan out. So some fresh ways, the job description. The best ones I've ever seen or we've ever helped our clients write are the story. Who you are, what do you do as a company, and again, back to my earlier point, how does your brand support this role? So not just what the duties are and what you're doing day to day, how do you add value? How do you excite the team? Accounting is not the most exciting part of a company, let's be honest, but we do enjoy what we do, and we do it with knowing that we're adding value to the business, and we want to know that. Social media, like I said again, get the word out. Just put it out there, but have a strategy for that. Knowing how you're going to communicate, because things like Twitter, you only allow so many characters on the actual site, so you want to keep it refined. And if you choose to use an external recruiting partner, partner with them. Find out how they recruit. Where do they recruit? Who are their alliances out there? Are they with CPA Canada and Ontario? You want to get in the weeds with them to really feel like you understand each other. And my biggest advice, if you do put an ad out there on the space in the World Wide Web, don't post and pray. You're going to get a lot of noise. You're going to get a lot of people applying that may not be the person you're looking for. So you really want to hone in on either recruitment strategy, externally or internally, but invest maybe in the people on your team, your talent acquisition team, your HR teams. Have them be your true business partner. The most successful internal groups I've seen like that really have a business partner for every team. They understand IT. They understand accounting and finance. Those are your best people. And then there's the candidate experience, which Hugh did a really great job of describing. Again, with the day one. You really want, this goes more into the recruitment side, because the swag bag that, if you're sharing later, we can. I'm on board with that.
Are you trying to influence me to get it?
I am. So back to the, exactly, just perfect segue, influence. This is where you actually have the influence on the individual's decision to join you. So it starts early. We were talking about it earlier. We were having a group discussion before we came in. It comes down to, and I'll use this analogy lightly, it's like dating. You want to get to know the person. You want to know what they like. You want to know what makes them tick. You want to know what their favorite snack is, favorite breakfast. This part of the candidate experience is you engaging them in your process. Who you are, what the role is, why do they want to work it. So the key is that positive interaction. It's the consumer experience. Whether you hire this person or not, the world is a small place in the CPA world. Word gets around. If they are not the right fit, they may refer somebody who is. So you want to set that in motion, those wheels in motion early. So those potential hires, they don't want to be processed. They want to feel engaged. That's, I can't say it anymore, but it's all communication. You want to woo them, hence the woo and woohoo. So I go back to the analogy, a little less email, more conversation, high-touch conversation, initial contact, interviews. And even if you don't hire somebody, I would highly suggest finding the time to let the ones know that you don't. Why? We're actually pretty tough. We like constructive criticism. I've talked to many candidates that didn't interview as well as they had hoped. They want to know why. They want to grow. And those are the ones, when you leave that feedback and that impression, it resonates and will carry forward in your next hire, your brand, and it's a costless strategy for you. So, Hugh, yeah, you really did take my presentation, didn't you? So phone interviews, I know you.
Reinforcing the point.
I totally am. I like this. And we didn't even talk before this. The interview process, the phone interviews, for accounting and finance professionals, I don't find they work as well. History has dictated we're not the most personable people, bean counters, but truth be told, it does have a greater impact to sit in front of somebody. Talk to them, even have a coffee, be creative, like the team lunch that Hugh referred to. I actually have a client who does that on their third interview process, takes them all out to the team, sits them down, and gets to know them. I've actually found in that third interview, that's the make or break, whether this person is the hire or not. It's not the first two interviews, it's the third interview. And then on a high note, like I said, if it's a great interview, an epic fail, whatever the case, even if you just shot them a thank you for coming to meet with us, it really does resonate with them. So if you found the one, awesome, then you're really ready to move to the next steps. Then it becomes the package. Salary is not really the number one item on everybody's to-do list. It's like shopping. And women, if you're a fan like I am, it's not about the price necessarily, but if it's on sale, you're going to go look at it. In this case, salary just gets the person engaged in the idea that this is meeting their financial independence, but it comes down to those particular items. Benefits is number one, and work-life balance, as much as we talk about it, we really need to define it as organizations. So what does that mean for somebody? Can they work from home? What kind of systems do you have for them to be able to work remotely if need be? Especially if you have young kids. Flu seasons is coming. We're going to get those calls from our employees saying, I can't come in today, I got to take the 2-year-old, they have a cough, whooping cough, I have to work at home. If you can identify that, that actually sometimes won't necessarily replace any change in salary, but it is the non-tangible that they're looking for. And then growth potential. The millennials, they're renowned for it. They want to know where they're going to go. They want to plan. Like when you brought up, Hugh, that first day plan, that introductory week, take that and look at it in a 12-month scope for that group. They really want to know what that may look like. You don't have to put it in writing, but at least have a trajectory for them. Bonus potential. If you don't offer bonus, what else do you do? Do you offer CPA dues, PD hours, any other perks in lieu of? They really do resonate with the offer. They'll actually strengthen your offer. And vacation. This is the most, by far, negotiated portion of any employment agreement I've ever had. 2 weeks I see, 3 weeks is the norm. I've had a client who offers unlimited, which in accounting and finance, you know, we have 12-month ends, 3 quarters, and a year end, and an audit. Not always easy. But it's actually, be surprised how that sort of takes away the pressure. They get excited about it. They know how to manage their time, for the most part. And other sick leaves, other perks, sick leave, parental leave. My company offers your birthday off. So you take your birthday off outside of your typical 3-week calendar. And if you get creative with those are fantastic. And building a culture, as Hugh has mentioned previously, this is all part of culture, not just the package you're offering a person. This comes a bit of what's in your blood as well. And the fact that if you can work through each step fairly fluidly and make it all connect, then the offer at the end will be signed off faster than you think. We, in the recruitment process, call the pre-close. It's just everything is linked to the next, and if it moves well and moves smooth, then they will sign off on your offer in no time at all. Thank you for your time.